And as you just saw, gold hovering around $1,860 an ounce. We want to begin with that because Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta is making a strong case for the establishment of more local gold refineries. The minister said this when Goldfields Ghana presented a dividend totaling 159 million cedis to government. George Afe has more.
The Minister of Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, noted that going this way would ensure that capital flight issues when it comes to gold exports are addressed. He believes that this will go a long way to ensure that the economy benefits from the commodity.
Ghana being the largest exporter of gold in Africa, I believe, for the past how many years? 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah.
And we don't have an LBMC refinery in town. The last we did, if we were some analysis, if we were to refine 10% of all the gold that leaves here of an LBMC license, we end up with about $55 million of profits. So imagine being able to refine all of this gold on the continent before it goes of LBMC licensing. That is an incredible amount of resources that we should.
On his part, the Vice President and head of Goldfields West Africa, Alfred Baku, expressed the company's commitment to support government-developed communities in which they operate in the national economy. He's also been talking about the company's commitment to zero emissions and target date.
With regards to the decarbonization, the industry globally, we've all committed to the zero emission by 2050. And Goldfields in Ghana, we have put in place mechanisms, and we're using technology to see how we can actually bring down our carbon emission. Because we have 100% open pit, we use a lot of diesel. And that is something that is a concern. So one of the things that we are doing in this area, Honorable, is to see how we can actually convert all our engines from diesel to LNG.
Out of the 159 million cedis paid to government in dividend, 149 million Ghana cedis came from its Takwa mines and 13 million Ghana cedis from its diamond mines. Under the ratified development agreement between the Abossey Goldfields and diamond mines, Goldfields pays government an annual guaranteed advance payment of 5% of profit after tax in case it's not in a position to pay a normal dividend.
Now, the Association of Ghana Industries is warning of a possible collapse of local manufacturing industries if government does not review the 50% benchmark policy on imported products. Ahead of the 2022 budget presentation, the AGI has urged government to exempt sectors such as agribusiness, pharmaceutical and heavy industry from the policy. It has already sent the proposal to the Finance Ministry. The Chief Executive of the AGI, Sechuma Kwabwa, also explained that the 50% benchmark value sets an unfair market competition in the country.
The concern of AGI is that the benchmark value policy that was introduced within the said period has been inimical to manufacturers, specifically between the agrarian businesses and the value addition processes within our manufacturing space. Examples: 1, local manufacturing is collapsing with the influx of finished imports. Finished imports equally enjoying 50% reduction in their benchmark value. Some of these imports to Ghana already enjoy significant export rebates from their countries of origin. Locally manufactured products, including those for which Ghana already has local production capacity and comparative advantage, have been under serious threat from imports, considering the 50% policy implementation over the period. The situation is further worsened if imports of finished goods are not registered and captured under the VAT scheme and therefore upselling their products in our markets without charging any front-end VAT levies. The influx of cheaper imports is making local production highly uncompetitive and discourage investment in the affected sectors. Example, the palm oil industry. The reduction in the benchmark value of imported refined vegetable cooking oil will discourage potential investors for the oil palm sector. Ghana cannot become a net exporter of crude and refined palm oil products to further increase its foreign income reserves. Ghana will need about 100 million to import crude palm oil annually if this policy persists.
So that was actually Humphrey Yimdake, who is the Vice President of the AGI in charge of SMEs, President of the Rice Farmers Association, Yao Edupo, who has also been speaking about the damage benchmark value policies having on the operations of rice farmers.
Most of us who are feed millers have closed shop. We have closed because we cannot compete with the influx coming from India. Now, what is happening now, as I'm talking, is that we grow soy in the northern sector, and then it's exported to India, where it goes to be milled, and then the oil is extracted from the cake, and then the cake is brought back to Ghana and sold to the poultry farmers. But we have millers in Ghana that can even produce to export to the neighboring countries. This is what has happened because of this benchmark situation that we find ourselves in. Come to the rice sector. I just came back from BC. I got in this morning. And about 80% of those buying rice, paddy rice, currently in Ghana are Nigerians. Because the government did a proactive policy for rice millers in Nigeria. He closed the border and stopped rice, milled rice, from coming into Nigeria until rice grown in Nigeria is bought. And within 3 months, no rice could be found in Nigeria, and that's a fact. So they started going outside to buy paddy rice. They don't care whether it's parboiled, brown rice, blue rice, they just buy because Nigerians eat parboiled. So we are competing currently with the Nigerian buyers, and we cannot match them. What is happening is that we've opened our back door wide enough for the importers to bring in rice, which is heavily subsidized because, for example, Thailand do their rice targeting the West African market. We are their major exporters, buyers. So this is what is happening. If the policies are not made to enhance growth, then we are in trouble. Because of this, a lot of us have laid down our workers. For example, I work only 3 months in the year, whether it's in the soya end or the rice end, because of this kind of policies. This is why we are passionate about this benchmark situation being reversed, especially for the agrarian and the pharmaceutical sectors, and for the auto industry that we want to promote here, but not for anything. Like you want to bring biscuits, and then you are paying 50% for biscuits. What is that for?
Well, from rice, let's talk about beans. Have you realized the size of a bowl of beans has reduced or the price gone up? Well, in Kumasi, sellers of gari and beans, popularly called gobe, are no longer selling for 1 cedi. This is because the price of beans has shot up by 100%, yes, since October, and consumers have started feeling the impact. Lab FM's Anita Sewa Joga explores the economic impact.
It's Nyama.
22-year-old Godbless Nyama loves gari and beans.
That is his go-to meal every day before the day ends. A day without eating this food means he has to spend more.
And beans is one of my favorite foods. With 4 cedis, I'll get satisfied and it can keep me for the whole day.
His daily budget has been affected due to the price increase of his favorite meal. As a student, the meal sustains him through the day at a minimal cost, but the situation is different now.
With 4 cedis, I used to get satisfied. It could sustain me to the rest of the day. But now it's either I go for a second round or I increase the amount that I'm going to buy.
Efia Mansa carefully pounds this quantity of beans in a mortar. This activity is to easily separate chaff from the beans properly before she cooks it. She then pours the beans on a perforated wooden tray, rubs her hands on the beans to get rid of the chaffs. This is meant for her gobe food joint at Eija in Kumasi. Though a sack of beans is expensive, Mansa complains the sack is full of chaffs.
You can see that the beans is full of chaffs. Our customers get angry when we refuse to sell the beans at 1 cedis.
Just like other gobe sellers, she has increased the price of her beans to stay in business.
Although we have increased the beans to 1 cedi 50 pesos, I'm unable to make enough profits.
Beans in retail are often sold in locally measured cups, container bowls, and sometimes bags for wholesale. A cup of beans in the Kumasi Central Market was sold at 2 cedis 50 pesos between January and September. But it has suddenly shot up to 5 Ghana cedis per cup.
Because each time we went to buy, they increase the price of the beans. Yeah, they complain. Some even when they come, they refuse to buy because of the price.
A bag of imported beans from neighboring French-speaking countries sold between 300 cedis and 400 cedis at the beginning of the year is now sold at 600 Ghana cedis. Alhaji Baba is an importer of the staple food. He attributes the increase to the safer and high cost of fertilizer prices.
Beans no ni bebere free France country ena eba. France country e free bano. Sefa na ya de kofa ebi fi Burkina ebi fi Niger enti sefa no akosoro sama yakofa.
We import most of the beans from French countries, but the safer keeps increasing. Now most of the importers are unable to buy the beans.
Price no wasoro ya ankasa bebere kura ntimi fa ne manamba ya ho kire ya papa.
Meanwhile, Baba's customer, Comfort, says she is unable to buy beans in large quantities due to the high price coupled with increase in fuel prices.
First, ukita 20 million out in Fanayama. Now, so a few way dear. No, couldn't ukita 20 million. What beans I bag me?
I can only afford to buy 2 bags of beans with an amount of 2,000 Ghana cedis.
Well, it is evident that until the Ghana cedi stops depreciating and fuel prices are reduced, food prices will still keep going high. Anita Sewa Ajoga's report read to you.
And you don't only have to think about what to eat, but where to live. Well, Minister of State in charge of Works and Housing, Dr. Frida Prempeh, has charged players in the housing sector to prioritize local products in order to reduce the cost of housing. This, she believes, will help address the rising housing deficit in the country. Speaking at the opening of the 18th International Building and Construction Exhibition, Dr. Prempeh said the addition of value to the Ghanaian architecture can boost its international recognition and trigger interest.
International Building and Construction Fair is targeted at providing the platform for sellers of housing accessories and stakeholders in the housing industry to showcase their products and services. Minister of State in charge of Works and Housing, Dr. Frida Pempe, bemoaned the increasing dependence on foreign housing materials. According to her, Ghana has great prospects in driving the quality but affordable housing agenda.
And I'll implore my good friends to look into it the next time when they're putting together such an exhibition, is to tap into the local industry. We have a lot of resources in this country that we can tap into it for our housing industry, for the built environment. So why are we not showcasing what we have? As for the international importing these luxury things around, we always have them. But how do we project our own? And I've just been told that they have a symposium on housing tourism. I believe that is another one way to showcase our culture, to showcase our traditions, to showcase our resources, what we have as a country. Ghana is endowed with a lot of resources, so it's up to us to add value to what we have and even to export to other neighboring African countries along the west coast and even around the world.
On housing tourism, the minister believes it is time for Ghana to put its works out there to attract foreign investments and exports.
It has a lot of potentials. When we travel around, we all look out for beautiful infrastructure. We all look out for beautiful architecture. We look out for greens. So if we promote the housing industry through tourism, it will enhance our economic activities, it will boost the housing industry, it will boost our infrastructure, it will boost up our architectural drawings and architectural firms and all that. So I believe if we bring all these people under one roof for us to brainstorm and think about how best we can project our country, not only through dancing and drumming, but through architecture, through infrastructure and through housing. I believe that's the right way to go.
Here are some exhibitors participating in the ongoing fair.
When you talk about Interplus, what comes in the minds of people is quality. So if you are looking for quality, what your money is worth, Interplus is the place to come to. We just don't sell the product. We offer advice. We also do installation. We take measurements and we educate you on the best products and practices when it comes to our product. So Interplus do not just sell products as others do. And we also want people to know that our products are made in Ghana. Everything is manufactured here, but to the international standard.
Talking of on the brand that we are into, we do more of sanitaries, towels, and then we do more of renovation of the houses, like bringing the house from the scratch to the new look to the people, so that it can make it look more confidential for them and their family.
The fair is under the theme Targeting Projects, and it runs from the 11th to the 13th of November at the Accra International Conference Center.
You're watching Business Live. Still to come, we have a one-on-one with First Vice Dean of the UPSA Business School, Professor Goski Alabi, who is advising government to abstain from the appointment of CEOs for public institutions as part of moves to promote good corporate governance.
That CEO may not really take the board as seriously as it should because the board didn't appoint him or her.
That's true.
It is one of the first flaws that I see
in government institutions.
In government institutions.
And welcome back to Business Live. First Dean of the UPSA Graduate School and the President of the Lawel Open University, Professor Goski Alabi, says corporate governance in the public sector is virtually absent. She wants governments to relinquish their responsibility of appointing CEOs to their respective governing boards. According to her, constituted boards must hold the sole responsibility of appointing CEOs if they want results and efficiency in the sector. She spoke to Odilia Ntiamwa.
To make a distinction between corporate governance in the private sector and corporate governance, as it were, in the public sector. In the public sector, I think we need to critically look at that. First of all, it is for me problematic that you have the appointing authority of the board chairman as the same as the CEOs of the public sector. Many of the laws establishing the public sector organizations are like that. So, for example, you would have the president appointing the chairman of a board, and the same president appointing the CEO of that organization. That CEO may not really take the board as seriously as it should because the board didn't appoint him or her.
That's true.
It is one of the first flaws that I see
in government institutions.
In government institutions. I happened to have done a few corporate governance trainings for the Public Services Commission when Madam Beatrice Katruku was then the head. And so I had the opportunity to look a little into what happens there. And this was one of the key things. But having said this...
No, I still want you to stay there. Could this, for example, be the reason why many of them haven't really been profitable? Or you will say that government has really no business doing business?
I wouldn't say that government has no business doing business. It depends on what our concept of business is. But because there are certain businesses like social-oriented services that government must provide for the people. However, I believe that when the structures are right and the systems are right, accountability would be, would be upheld, and transparency may gain a little space, you see. But where you have the ultimate authority controlling CEO, controlling board chair, then the boards, to start with, are weak. Because, mind you, the boards at most will meet once in a month.
And that's our program tonight. There's more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.